Now, 5 former police officers have admitted sending grossly offensive, racist WhatsApp messages, including some about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and the former Home Secretary, Priti Patel.
The Metropolitan Police officers retired between 2001 and 2015, and they were not serving in the force at any point during this WhatsApp exchange.
Nevertheless, it's worrying. Let's talk to former Detective Chief Inspector Mike Neville, who joins us now. Look, Mike, they may not have been in the force when they're doing this, but it suggests that when they were in the force, their attitudes probably weren't any different, which is a worry.
Yeah, it is bad. These messages are... I've not seen the messages, so I don't know how grossly offensive they are. I don't know what they mean. But what concerns me a little bit is that the use of the Communications Act 2003, because my mother used to say, if everybody wrote their worst secret on their head, they'd never leave the house. And I think if everybody put on their head their worst ever WhatsApp message that they'd received, then again, people wouldn't leave the house. And are we now being told that if you share a Bernard Manning joke on your WhatsApp with your friends or family, that is now a criminal offence? I'm worried that this is taking it too far. You know, we have a situation where people carrying a knife are convicted for the second time and are not sent to prison, yet they're dealing with people for sending not unpleasant, racist tweets or WhatsApp messages. I'm just concerned about how far this will go, and the prisons are going to be very full if they want to prosecute everybody who sent an unpleasant WhatsApp message.
I mean, I take your point about you and I maybe publishing a Bernard Manning joke on our WhatsApp group or something, but we weren't police officers. It's Stephen's point, isn't it, that this reflects badly on the character of the men who were once police officers, and it makes you worry about the character of the people who are police officers now.
Yes, it does make you worried about that, and it's unacceptable. But even the guidelines for this act say that really the act was about, are you targeting an individual? Now, Meghan Markle, who was the subject of these things, she wasn't the actual, no one was saying they're going to kill her or anything like that. And when you look at the prosecutions for this, most of them fail on appeal when it isn't targeted against an individual. And what it said, it said that prosecutions are very unlikely. This is the guidance from the Attorney General. And yes, it does flag up that these people were unpleasant, they've done all these things. But again, it comes to the point where, what do the public want the police to do? You know, there are the shoplifting out of control, violent robberies out of control, burglary out of control. And here we see men who, some retired in 2001, 22 years ago. There comes a point where, you know, we've got to look at what we want the police to do. And unpleasant messages, racist messages, they're unpleasant. There are, and also in addition to all this, there was a superintendent in the Met, Robin Williams, who was allowed to stay in, and she was convicted of having a child abuse video on her phone. So when you have child abuse, that means a child has been physically hurt, and that she's allowed to stay in. So there's this sort of weird balance here, and I don't know. Is this the right thing to prosecute? Should they not have had warnings?
OK, Mike, I hate to say it, but we need to leave it there because we're out of time. But you raised some very valid discussion points. Good to see you. Thanks very much indeed.
Yeah, what do you think? GBViews at gbnews.com.